Okay, real talk, guys. I probably look as if I just woke up. I've been awake, but it's been cloudy, and the sun is finally shining, and it just kind of feels like a bit blinding. I love it though. I mean, I am definitely a summer person. I love as much sun as possible. Just trying to get readjusted to that sun. Anyways, I don't have much of a voice because I've been singing really loud, and I didn't really warm up my voice before it, so it's my fault. But I shared a video about a little bit about eggs. What did I say? I shared why I thought it was more beneficial to me to have chickens, in terms of the cost and balance, because some people are asking themselves, well, even though the price of eggs has gone up, wouldn't it be more money to keep the chicken, keep chickens for eggs? And, maybe a couple years ago I would have agreed with that. But of course, in my situation, and this is me, I have to eat a very high protein diet, and I eat a lot of eggs. So for me, I actually, in my particular situation, this doesn't mean for everybody, but for me, I am saving money by having birds, chickens, ducks for my diet for eggs. I have, how many, what do I have? I don't know what all I have, but it is true that chickens and ducks, they're not laying all the time. Even though I eat eggs basically almost every day. But I actually have different ages of birds, so that when some of them are taking their break from laying, the other ones are laying too. It's a huge blessing how it's worked out. Thank you, God. But the other thing people are asking, and I've seen a bunch of videos about this, and I'm not even going to go into it because you can find a ton of videos about this, the whole reason for the higher egg prices and hard to find eggs these days. But I did come across an article that was interesting, and I'm not one of those people that's like conspiracy theorist people, but it's crazy how many so-called conspiracy theories have actually come to existence in the last couple of years. Yeah. But it is so this article though pointed out the fact that some very large egg production farms mysteriously burned down. But there have also been cases where birds, we've been dealing with sickness in birds, and I know that's real. That's not a made-up deal. That is real. And when that happens, unfortunately, I mean, it's terrible, but they have to just come in and kill all the birds. I know all the animal rights people are like, oh my goodness, but that's for our safety too, and the safety of other birds. You do that on a farm. I've had to do that. I'm happy to say that I've had healthy birds, for the most part. Some situations where birds just died within a few hours that were weird. Some things we can't explain. And the one time I had a bird that was truly sick and I was concerned for the rest of my flock, I did put it down. I hate doing that. I mean, it's a terrible thing because you want them to just get better. But sometimes, no matter what, they're not getting better, and in order to protect the rest of the flock, you have to put them down. And that was really the only way I got myself through that when I was putting this chicken down. It was a young chicken too. I was like, I gotta do this for the other birds. I don't want any other birds to go through this. I don't want, So that was what got me through that process, but I don't like it. I'm pretty sure, I didn't grow up on a farm that happened a lot, but I'm pretty sure that even if you do it a lot, it might help a little bit to do it, make it easier, but then it's just never fun. I mean, it's another life. Anyways, so that's just, even if I'm sure you've come across several videos about the high egg thing, but the article I came across was pretty interesting to read about all the, and it doesn't surprise me. I don't really see it so much like a conspiracy when we are being told and fed the information that, it's bad to raise your own chickens, you raise your own animals. And that, a lot of that is actually pressured with these bird sicknesses, because it's this perspective of, oh, the backyard chicken owner you know, the chicken owner with the chickens in the backyard, the few to keep eggs in their family, they're not maintaining health of their birds very well, and so it can get to these bigger farms. I don't believe in that, because the backyard farmer, homesteader, small homesteader, actually has much greater chances of having healthy birds, because we are not keeping our birds in confined, ridiculous spaces as these big egg production places. I know there are places, organic egg chicken farmers, that have a lot of chickens, but they still have some land for them to run, which is great. But, and I'm not saying that every person who has chickens in their backyard does an amazing job, but there's space. There is, there's going to be a variety of food. It's not the same kind of food. There's going to be scraps. More instances for better health for the birds than in these big production places. Just my personal thoughts about it. So it's frustrating and alarming when the blame is put on the small chicken farmers. How terrible it would be if all of us small homesteaders and people with a little bit of land, a little bit of animals, to just be more self-sustaining, we're told we can't anymore. That's when, before that, even the thought of it is when we should be making sure we are aware and letting our voices be heard. Because after all, in this country, the USA, the government was to be by the people, for the people. And when that's gone, it's gone. That's not what we intended this country to be. So I'm trying not to get all political here. I'm just going down that path. But if some of you were curious, yeah, we've had some major, egg suppliers in the United States. The places have caught on fire. But also, yes, sickness in birds, so you're finding less eggs, and of course, therefore, higher prices. I think it's good. I think it's a good investment to get some chickens, if you can. But also, if you get chickens, you're a first-time chicken owner, be aware that, excuse me, that there are health things to be mindful of. Basically, to preventative is to make sure you've got clean, moldy-free environment, at least as little mold as possible. I guess there's mold everywhere to a certain extent. Fresh water, fresh food, just cleanliness as much as possible. I clean out my chicken coop quite a bit. Not every week, sometimes not every month, but some people, they don't clean out their coops at all, or once a year. I don't really do that. I don't do that. Clean more than that. Maybe once every 2 months, I'd say. Try to keep the accumulation of bacteria down. I think that's really important. And for yourself, for self-protection, make sure that you also, if you can, take like a little scarf or something, whatever you can to cover up your breathing, because when you clean out the coop, you are getting that into your lungs, that same stuff you're trying to clean out, so you don't want to do that because you're breathing it in. I try to keep my doors nice and open too, so the chickens don't breathe that as I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing the dust up to clean, so that they don't get any respiratory sicknesses. But yeah, that's basically the best thing, is preventative. And then there's stuff you can get, of course, at your local feed store, Tractor Supply, to help maintain health too, if it's not so severe. Like VetRx is good if you hear your chicken sneezing a little. But they're not acting any different. They're acting healthy and walking around. And they might just have an irritant from something in the air. So there's some stuff to do. But definitely, I think that the birds that are kept in the backyard are more likely to be healthy than the ones on these big egg productive farms. But that's the story. Love you all. Shalom, paz. Take care.